Welcome to Beans and Breakdowns, a podcast dedicated to bridging the gap between specialty coffee and the heavy music community. On this episode, I'm joined by Jonathan Mackey, bassist of the band Dying Wish and Vatican. So grab a fresh cup of coffee and wake the fuck up! What's going on, Caffeinated crew? On this episode, I'm joined by Mackey, as he's lovingly called across the globe, from Dying Wish. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I was running late today, so I appreciate your grace and patience with me.
That's why they call me Grayson.
Wow. It makes you think, dude.
Son of Grace, right?
Oh my God.
Anyway,
that's so awesome.
It's all good. It was good for me. I played a country show last night.
Yeah.
But I don't drink anymore. So it was a very weird dynamic because a country show is like hand in hand with drinking, right?
Yeah, that's like the thing. Like,
yeah. So
like even like the pop country, cold beer Friday night.
Hell yeah. A little bit of chicken fried. You know what I'm saying?
Pair of jeans. That fit just right.
Well, what are you drinking on your side?
So this is I'm borrowing a mic stand from my dad right now. And he has a little, I don't know if you can see, he has a little drink tray.
That's the old man special. Straight
up, shout out. So I got 2 cups from one of my local places. They're called River Road in Cocoa, Florida. It's about a 10-15 minute drive from here. It's right in the like the artsy, like local heart of where I live. So it's all like locally owned businesses and stuff like that. And they're kind of on the outskirts of it. And so they're just like, it's like, I love them. It's to the point where like I'm usually going there like 3-4 times a week.
Okay.
Like to get coffee. So today I went and I was like, I'm gonna kind of keep it simple, keep it OS, and get like a large cold brew. But my guy Anton, who was working, he was like, we just dropped the fall menu today.
Ooh.
So I was like, I'm on double cup mode right now. I'm almost through one of them. 9 times out of 10, I'm a cold brew guy, but sometimes I want like a ridiculously like sweet coffee.
Yep.
So this is like a cookie butter caramel.
Oh,
it's good. It's dope. So they're so they just, like I said, they just dropped the fall menu today. The summer menu had the top one that like everyone got that I actually finally just like got put onto like a couple weeks ago it's the Coco Loco Americano, which is the funniest name to say.
Yeah.
But it's an Americano with coconut water, toasted coconut syrup, I think.
Okay.
And then it's like and that's topped with like a coconut milk cold foam.
Oh.
It's fucking awesome.
That sounds like a much better version of like a coconut drink at Starbucks.
Yeah.
Like way better.
Yeah, it was dude, and the person who put me on to that there was like, this might sound crazy, but do you like matcha? And I was like, I love matcha. And so she made me that, but instead of like the espresso, she did matcha.
Yeah, that's it.
And it was fucking crazy.
That's a hit.
So shout out River Road. That's one of like, there's like 2 or 3 places where I live. So I live in Brevard County, Florida. Not a lot going on here. There's a couple. I have like 3 or 4 friends locally who all happen to also like be in bands that tour and stuff like that. And most of them are like kind of remote members as well because there's fucking nothing here.
Yeah. What's the closest city to Brevard?
I live like an hour from Orlando.
Okay, that's why it rings a bell. Because my mom lived in Lake Nona for like a few years.
Yeah, so if you know where like Cocoa Beach is,
Hmm.
or like Kennedy Space Center,
Yep.
that's where I live. I used to work like 10 minutes from Kennedy Space Center up in
Okay.
Titusville, Florida.
Titusville, baby.
Just darkness,
Nothing.
pain. It's just darkness.
I think I read a novel in high school about, no, sorry, that was Jupiter, Florida, but all those places. It was
I
Alas
mean, that's
Babylon.
that's like similar.
Yeah. It's
There's a lot of those types of places.
when you think Florida, you think Miami, you think theme parks, and then nobody seems to realize that the rest, like 90% of Florida is just swamp.
Swamp, literally. Um, it's so I moved down here in like 2014 from New York. And it was definitely like culture shock. I had like actually come down here because I've had, I think, almost my entire life, like extended family kind of in and out of this part of Florida. Like not so much Cocoa Beach, but like Melbourne or like Palm
Mhm.
Bay. Um, so like anytime that like we would come down to Florida for like vacation or something, 'cause that's like the normal like Long Island thing.
That's the New England
Um,
dream right there.
yeah, yeah. I had Coyle stay at my house a couple of times now, and their whole thing is like I think Joey said to me, he's like, honestly, dude, like you moving to Florida is probably like the most Long Island thing you could do. And I was like, that's like a sentimental thing for me, like being from Long Island and stuff like that. So like obviously like we're just like joking around and shit, but I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, like it's kind of true. So
It's funny because living in Quebec, a lot of like people from here have houses towards Hollywood, Florida,
okay,
and they
really?
actually, yeah, they sell the French speaking newspaper in Hollywood, Florida. Like here, it's called La Presse,
Hmm.
but it's like, yeah, it's like the Quebecois like news, and they sell it in Hollywood, Florida, because everybody's putting around all the snowbirds. And then if
That's
you go
crazy.
to another side, I think on the inside towards Tampa and stuff, there's a lot of
Yeah.
Ontario people that like. So yeah,
That's so weird. I mean, shit, I kind of wish they sold like Newsday here. Newsday was like the Long Island newspaper. Um, and that was like the one that like, my parents always got growing up. So it was always just like, it's a
see like people's
little artifact.
engagement announcements and obituary, like local obituaries and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. It was like straight up like local shit. It
Yeah.
was like on Long Island, there's like News 12. That's like the local news. Like instead of doing like ABC or like Fox News, which is all like it would be New York news, but it'll all be in like the city.
Mm.
Whereas like News 12 was like on Long Island, like we're at the Long Island Children's Museum type shit, like hyper local shit.
Shit's going down at the Children's Museum, man. I'm telling you.
I went to my first year of college. I like the college I went to shares like a campus with that. It's like Nassau Community College, the Long Island Children's Museum, which I went to on at least like one field trip when I was younger, and
Mhm.
then like the Long Island like Aviation Museum are all in like the same like little pocket.
That's cool. Did you do aviation for college?
No, I went.
Oh, because you mentioned the Space Center as well, so it sounded like you were doing.
No, that's just that. I think that's just like kind of like a little serendipitous thing. No, I went to my first year of college. I went to Nassau Community College for like studio recording,
Oh, okay.
like audio production stuff like that. Because I had because obviously I've played in bands and music and stuff for over half of my life at this point. Um, so my senior year, I went to like vocational school for like half a day. Because it was at like the mixture like trade school and the alternative high school for like the teen moms and the kids who couldn't stop fighting each other.
Yep.
They all went there, and then the other side of the campus was like, like culinary, nursing, carpentry,
Mhm.
like all like the real trades, and then they had like a whole digital suite, which was like audio production, video, photography, fashion, and like so I did like audio production for half a day for like my senior year, and then
That's dope.
I was like, yeah, I'll do this, and like so I learned how to like do like I learned Pro Tools, forgot most of it pretty quickly, and then I learned Logic, and Logic has kind of been like what I've used for everything musically since then.
It's the greatest.
It's I have I have my qualms with it, my quirks with it that a lot of people have, but in terms of just like, all right, I want to like sit down, pull up like an amp sim or like a MIDI drum kit and just start like writing something. It's like the most, to me, it's like the most like straightforward, like literally just plug and play, you know?
For me, the reason I like Logic, and I know what the qualms are, because as a drummer, it's horrible, but, and you know why. So
like drum editing and stuff like that.
Oh, it's hellacious, but basically, if the UI is very important to me because I'm a dum-dum. So the UI is very simple. So yeah, for like composition, if I'm just demoing something out, fucking awesome. I can mix, but I usually have to go into Reaper to edit drums.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a video online of this kid who he's like an assistant to a Machine. The producer.
I've watched that video 8 times, and
doing the drum edits in Logic. So when I interned at a studio after my year at Nassau, I interned at Voodoo in Port Jefferson on Long Island. Their big things are like one of the producers there did like Deja Entendu by Brand New. One of them did like Where Is My Mind by like the Pixies. Like
classic.
Well, yeah, like random things like that, and then like they'd be like, oh, like there's like As Tall as Lions did like their self-titled here, and then like actually the other producer, Mike Watts, he did like the last 2 or 3 like Hopes Fall records, which and then like those are the records that I happen to like really love, like the more like rocky ones. And there's like an As Cities, I think the one like As Cities Burn record I like,
the one that everybody loves.
Yeah. So it's like a lot of stuff like that. So I interned there and I learned how to. So for like when I interned there, when I wasn't doing like normal intern shit like trash or like cleaning plates or like moving furniture, you know, I was doing like drum edits, or like I was either editing the drums or I was like laying down drum samples, and they were all in Pro Tools. So they were doing like, it would all be cut up, and then I'd have to do like the tab to transient to like paste each like drum sample.
Right.
So, and then I forgot how to do it once I stopped interning. And then I was like, I'm just going to use Logic all the time.
Yep.
I've tried doing that. Like, I remember the first band I ever recorded. It was my friend John's band. We did 3 songs in like his basement. And I tried doing like the cut thing, like cuts and moving it over like physically, and it just did not. I got through like 75% on one song, and I was like, hey, you know what? This would probably like have like a little more like flow and like grime if we just didn't edit the drums, you know? I was like, I don't want to fucking do this anymore.
I didn't anticipate how much CPU it would use when you cut that amount of transients.
Yeah. So because it's making like new audio files and shit.
Yeah.
Or like new like regions or whatever they call it in Logic.
It turns your session into the slowest moving session you've ever seen.
Yeah.
If it's like a 4-minute song, fuck.
No, dude. I wrap it up. Cut it in half.
That's it.
That's me. I'm very much on the wrap it up kick the last like few years, but like you said, like the UI, like using Logic just for like writing shit, like I can have like a drum sampler and fucking whatever amp sim and just plug into my Focusrite and I'm straight.
Yep, same. Yeah. That was like a fucking long ass tangent, but worth it because I don't get to talk to people about DAWs enough.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad I could placate that for you.
Yes, thank you. I'm drinking the Cosmic Key from Dark Arts Coffee out of the UK.
Dark Arts.
Yes, the Dark Arts. It's not Harry Potter related at all. Apparently, people used to call it Harry Potter coffee. which
That's
is
awesome.
fucking hilarious to me.
Yeah, especially with the current state of things in that world. So careful.
I know. I don't want to get canceled. This is an anaerobic Colombian coffee. It kind of tastes like hot grapes.
Okay.
Like,
are you like the do you like the fruit notes coffee?
yeah,
Is that your shit? That's sick.
yeah, like something that tastes like Skittles.
That's sick.
Yeah, but
I've had a couple like that. Like when I was actually like making more coffee at home, like notes of like almost like orange or like
Mhm.
weird where it's like it kind of gives it like an earthy kind of vibe, but like there's like the hints of like the fruit. I don't know. I like it. I like that.
This tastes like it's got like a initial grapey kind of soury sweetness, but then it tastes like if you mixed grapes with like candy,
Okay.
like a sweet kind of candy. I don't know how to describe it, but
Yeah.
basically it tastes like hot grapes. Let's just leave it.
That's
Leave it
sick.
there.
I fuck with that. I have a lot of friends who tour who like they're like the type who will like find like the local coffee place wherever they are and like find whatever beans get like the bags of beans and then like send them home. But like
Gage, are you talking about Gage Lanza?
he does that. But shout out to Gage. That's my boy. My friend Mark from Long Island who he's like been touring with like Drain recently. Like I think he just went to like Japan and Europe with them. Like I think he's like TMing and like I think doing merch. But he's like he's like he'll find the coffee place, get like the bag of beans, and then like find like the UPS and like ship it home or some
Holy
shit.
shit.
So or I don't know, he might just like have them, they might have like a thing where they will like send out like deliver like beans or whatever. So I respect that devotion. I am every time I've been on tour, my living situation, aka the van, is always a fucking like nightmare war zone. And I'm just like, if I put something in the van, I'm anticipating that I'm going to lose it. Like it's just gonna like disappear.
Right.
So I'm like, I probably shouldn't spend like crazy money on things because they're probably gonna get lost. The old Vatican van had like holes in the floor and shit, like just like rusted out. Like it was like a 97 like E350, like just normal van, and right behind the front seats was I guess like one of like where it would like be like a seam. And you could actually like put your hand like through the floor because it was like wide enough that you could actually like we've like lost like a rice cooker and shit through it.
Like just out of the van.
Just fell out.
That doesn't seem road ready.
No, but it drives. And when I sold it, it still drove.
Holy shit.
So, you know, that's that, dude. That's the. I'm not. This isn't a car podcast, but I've had 3 friends in bands last summer, who all drive like Chevy vans, and they all had within like 3 months, 3 of them had like dead transmissions, which is like a $6,000 fix.
Yep.
With like parts and labor and shit. So and my like every Ford I've had, like every Ford, because I've been in a couple now, has just run. Like the AC might stop, or like the brakes might be fucked up, or like everything around the engine will fall apart, but the motor's gonna just fucking run forever.
So it's not a car podcast, but this is valuable information. Okay.
Yeah.
Because we need to know. Some of us are looking for vans. Some of us want to tour. Don't buy a Chevy, buy a Ford.
Yeah. But Ford stopped making the Econolines. They make the Transits, like the Sprinter looking vans. Yeah. I hate them. I think we're renting a Transit for the tour Dying Wish is doing later this year, and like we're trying to figure out like what DIY like kind of like bunk situation we can do for it, just because like they don't have like benches, you can't lay down. You know, they're like,
There
but they're
are
like
ones that
weird.
do
Like,
though. I thought. Oh no, they have chairs. That's right.
yeah, they're like bucket seats almost. So
So you could do a because I've driven for stage front. I used to drive the Dodge and Mercedes
yeah,
Sprinters,
the
which
sprinters. Yeah,
those are they're the same van basically.
yeah,
But those run what I've heard because the transits can be hit or miss depending on like if you get the 150, it's not going to be good.
yeah.
But
350 or nothing.
that's it. You got to do a 350. But the Sprinters always ran like crazy
Yeah.
good.
Did you have like a diesel one or
Turbo, yeah.
that I know? So like right as I kind of like came into Dying Wish, they had like a diesel, I think it was like a Freightliner, but it's like it like a Freightliner Sprinter, but like it was like built by Mercedes, just didn't have like the badge on it.
Right.
And that one died too.
Damn.
So just cars be dying sometimes, dude.
Just rent.
Yeah, I think we're at that point now, which is cool. Dude, my boss. So again, I work at an auto parts store, and we can move on from cars after this. He got a 2022 Ford F-150. Transmission died after 800 miles.
800 miles.
800 miles, and that's like that's like been like a normal thing for Ford in the last like year or two. It's like devastating.
Ford taking a huge L on that one because that's still under warranty.
Yeah, and like it's one of those things where he's like, oh, like on his day off, he's like, I gotta bring it to the fucking dealer, have it get looked at. And I'm like, dude, just fucking lemon law it. Like you can do that now. You've had enough time. Mm-hmm. And he's just like, oh well, it's a lease, so I'll just deal with it and then get a new one when the lease is up. So, but I'm just like, you are like just, I don't know. For me, something as like quintessential, like not even quintessential, just essential as like a car is like I need that to work, you know?
Yeah.
And I need to like have faith in it, you know? So
yeah, I'm trying to ditch mine. I don't want my car anymore.
Yeah.
I don't need a car.
So you live in Montreal, right? Is it like super walkable there, or is there like good like public transit?
Both.
That's sick.
Yeah, like the public transit's good. Like there's buses that go everywhere, and then we have like four metro lines. Technically three. One of them's basically useless. Yeah. Two of them are basically useless.
Awesome.
But the two main ones
just public work things.
Yeah. I won't get into it. It's political.
Yeah.
But the lines that are the main ones are very good. Like they take you where you need to go, and then anywhere that you kind of need to like walk to, it's about 10 minutes off of a line. That's
sick. I liked Savannah for that, how like walkable it was.
Well, especially if you live downtown.
Yeah, which I did the whole time. Well, no, the last like 6 or 7 months I lived there, I lived in Garden City.
Oof.
Which is it was all I could afford at the time. I mean, it was kind of like that's where I was before I moved back down to Florida. Like I did Vatican like kind of remote like this for like a year and change. Like I joined like right after they dropped the demo, and so I went on like their first tour in like summer 2015. Right. So we did a couple of tours where I would like, or like shows or whatever, where I would just like drive up to Savannah. It's like 4 hours from me, and like I live like where I live, I'm like a mile off of my exit for 95. So it's like
nice.
Just get on and fucking fly up for a couple of hours. So I would do that. And then our first like full US tour in like 2016, I had to quit my job that I was working at here. So we got back and I was like, well, I don't have to go back to work. Can I stay here? And they were like, yeah. So I lived on Nolan's couch for like 3 months, because we lived on. Where'd you live?
Because I grew up in Savannah. So
yeah.
In 2015, 2016, I was living in 41st and Jefferson.
Okay. So West Side. So we had a duplex, like one like the normal like 2-door. once, so I lived in the downstairs. And we were on 36th Street. It was like 36th and Barnard, I think.
Okay.
So, like just right in downtown, you know. Um, so in the downstairs there was Nolan, um, Spencer, who now works at Grimoire Tattoo in Savannah, our friend KJ, and Whittle, who used to sing in Vatican.
Mm-hmm.
And then I lived in the living room, like on the couch. And then upstairs was it was Hosian, and I think most of the people from Without, like his old band before he joined Vatican, or
Yeah, like James and
yeah. Well, it was Brad or Ted. Brad. Yeah. It was Brad, John Blanken from Big Awesome.
okay.
And then this other dude, I think his name was Mike. I think he was like a comedian, or like trying to be a comedian.
Mike. I don't know if I know Mike.
So nice guy. I've never seen his stand up. Good luck for good. God bless him.
God.
So
he's trying his darndest.
So I lived there for 3 months, and then their lease ended, and then me and Hosian moved into like a house like we were basically right on 37th and MLK.
Oh, nice.
So and it was me, him, two of the guys from Without, and then this other kid Adam that we knew from like shows and stuff. So I lived there. My girlfriend at the time like soon after I moved in with me into my room, and then that lease ended like the next year, and then her and I moved in with like I used to work at the Target on Victory.
I worked there.
When?
But you moved up in 2014 or 2015. So
2016 I moved in.
Yeah, so I worked there in 2013.
What'd you do?
Cashier, baby.
Yeah, just GS, guest services.
The worst job ever.
Nightmare. I was hard lines, and then I became electronics, and then and actually this is probably a good way to transition because I never drank coffee growing up. Like I didn't like it. I didn't get it. It was literally like the thing, like remember the Dexter's episode where him and Dee Dee find the parents' coffee, and then they drink it all, and they're like they go crazy.
Yeah.
So I never liked coffee growing up, and then when I started touring and stuff, I was like, meh, whatever. But then when I started working at Target, they started hitting me with like, oh, like we're gonna close at 11. You're gonna get out here at midnight, and then I need you back here at 7:30. Classic.
That was that good bullshit that they used to do.
Yeah.
Did you ever work Black Friday?
So I've worked one Black Friday, but it was down when I moved back down here. I transferred to another Target. I worked it down here. But I worked Thanksgiving twice, nice. I think. But I actually ended up working out because I did like they would open at 6 p.m. on Thanksgiving. So I would work like 6 to midnight and like just do cashier stuff. And it was like the one day in the entire year where every cashier, they had someone for every cash register. So It was actually like not as painful as you'd think. But so they would hit me with the clopins often, and there was the Starbucks in Target started speaking to me, so that was kind of my fall into drinking coffee, and I kind of it's kind of just went from there.
So you weren't one of those Dunkin's guys?
No, I mean like my brother's first job was at Dunkin' when he was 14, so I would have been 9. I would get like the food from Dunkin', or like like a donut and like a sausage, egg, and cheese on a croissant.
Yeah, the croissant sandwiches.
Yeah, honestly, Dunkin's cool. I'm fine with Dunkin'.
I fuck with Dunkin'.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' D's.
Dunkin' D's. So yeah, I was never like, yeah, growing up, like where I lived, like every kid I went to high school with, they'd come in with like a Dunkin' cup or a Starbucks cup, and I was just like, I don't like it. It's gross to me. And then it kind of like it's definitely like an acquired taste, but like once you acquire it, it's like that's it.
Necessity.
Yeah, it's definitely a necessity for me at this point, especially now that I am 30. Actually, I turn 31 next week. I'm trying not to think about it.
Oh damn, you're like 3 months older than me.
Yeah. Were you born 92?
Yeah.
Yeah.
December though.
Okay.
December.
December. When did you graduate high school?
I graduated. I like kind of dropped out and graduated early. So like
Awesome.
I was supposed to graduate in 11, but I graduated in 10.
Send tenors, dude. that was my thing. That was like our thing in high school, like my senior year, because it was 2010.
Yeah.
So it's like SEN, the number 10, and then R. So it's just send tenor. So it's just one of those things where it's like I think about it now and I'm like, that's the stupidest thing ever, but it just makes me laugh.
Wait, you got to start school early because your birthday was in August.
Yeah. So I like
Oh, you were
my
one of
birthday
those.
my birthday, like I always started like, oh, so like in New York, I know down here, I know some schools will start in like August or whatever. In New York, every school started in like the first week of September.
That's it. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Damn.
So just kind of that weird cusp,
Yeah.
you know?
I remember it would be like there would be an older kid or something like that in our
Yeah.
class. And I was like, how'd you get in? Like my birthday's during the summer. I'm like, oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Which is crazy because I was always like my birthday was like later in the year. So like all my friends had like birthdays like first before me.
Yeah.
And then my it was like I'd have my birthday and then like 3 days later I'd have to go start school. So maybe that's part of why I don't love my birthday. But
Happy birthday.
thank you. Appreciate you. I thought when I turned 30, I thought it was gonna be the most devastating thing. Like it's just the typical like, oh, like when I'm 30 it's done.
Yeah.
But 30 has been actually like one of like the most like productive and like cool years of my life. So it's pretty cool.
This is a good transition because
Yes,
we see you thriving. We see you out here.
I appreciate it. I'm trying.
Yes. So I know that like Vatican kind of wrapped up last year
Mhm.
After the Ultra Gold release and everything.
Yeah.
We don't have to kind of go into detail about it because I don't know like anything about it, honestly. I think it just kind of
It's chilling.
Yeah, it's like a hiatus, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's everyone I mean, we were at least like me and Nolan and Hosian and Tom, we had kind of been at it for kind of like 8 years at that point. So it's like that's like a lot of time. And we were kind of at the point where it was like, like if it's not this lineup, then maybe we shouldn't like focus on it for now. And then also like I think everyone also wanted to kind of like try something else.
Mhm.
And then it kind of just like for me, it kind of just like serendipitously worked out that the Dying Wish thing kind of came in like right after that.
But in the middle there was like Psycho Frame, right?
Yeah, so I was doing me and Hunter we're writing like the Psycho Frame stuff like summer 2022. Mostly him. He is like a fucking prolific like crazy genius. I'll when like songwriting production stuff, I'm like I watch him like delete everything in a song except for drums and then just rewrite it right there. And it's like nuanced and like super fucking like it's like dressed up already. And I'm just like, I don't know like how that happens. I don't know. Maybe it's because he plays guitar and I play bass. Like guitar is not like my first instrument.
Right.
So maybe he just like that's like more like that focus on like playing guitar. Whereas like I'm playing bass and I'm just like you know.
Well, you get to move and he doesn't. That's the thing.
Yes, especially the Psycho Frame stuff is like crazy technical.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we were originally going for more like like you know first wave deathcore because that's where he and I kind of like came into like heavy music was like, you know, like J-Fac Doom, you know, Animosity Empires, like Suicide Silence, like EP and The Cleansing, like
The Cleansing
all
is
still a perfect like heavy music record.
it's a god tier album.
And they tracked it live, which is crazy.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's fucking
If
crazy.
I think so, if I think because they did I did they did one of the songs on like Nail the Mix or something like that. And if you listen to like the multi tracks, there's like bleed all over the fucking like tracks and shit. So they were just like that good. You know,
That's
it's
fucking amazing.
like old like Slipknot type shit where it's
Yeah.
like if you listen to it by itself, it's like, oh, it's kind of like messy and sloppy, but then like together it just fucking like is just like fist of sound, you know?
Yeah.
So that was kind of like where we were going at first, and then we were like, what if we kind of went like did a little more techie shit, and actually like a lot of like funny enough like the French Canadian bands kind of came into mind, like you know like Beneath the Massacre, like Ion Dissonance, Despise Icon, like because those were all bands that had like those were all bands that I had seen at one point or another, except for Despise Icon. I still haven't seen them, but we're Dying Wish is playing with them later this year, which I'm really excited about. Where it was like super like goony, like heavy mosh parts, but then there'd be like crazy techie shit,
Yeah.
kind of in between, and that was kind of the tip that we kind of like figured out, like okay, this is what like we want to do. So we did that. I was in Mood Ring for one music video too.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's nice.
So, which again, Mood Ring, one of my favorite bands.
Yes.
So, and Hunter in general is like one of my best friends. Like he used to live in Melbourne, like 20 minutes from me. So like I was at his house multiple times a week, and like we would just like fuck around with music or like watch like fucked up shit on YouTube, or like go to like the mall and like get like fucked up like cheap teriyaki
Oh yeah.
type shit, like you know. So we did the Psychoframe thing, I did the Mood Ring thing, and then like the Dying Wish thing kind of came along, and their manager is Tom from Straight from the Path, so and like he's like a Long Island guy,
Right.
and Vatican had toured with Stray in Europe last year, so I had actually met Tom briefly in 2015. The first tour I ever went on, I actually did like sound for my friend's band. Like I did like front of house. I tried to do I like faked my way through like front of house.
Right.
And the first like 4 days were with his other band Tradewind.
Oh yeah.
That's which I love that band like so much. And Randy, you know, Randy LaBeouf, the God. That's where I met him too. And then a couple years later, kind of full circle, like Vatican would go record with Randy, and then like Randy does like all the Dying Wish stuff too, and then Tom from Stray and Tradewind manages them, and he's from Long Island. So it's like a weird, like just all like a lot of full circle shit, you know.
There's a lot of nepotism in Long Island, I've found.
It's yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you like not so much with like Tom and me, because like we're different like generations of like band guys or like hardcore guys, but like it was always like, oh, like I know this person and like I can put them to work or they can do this thing, and like it's I mean, and that's always kind of been my thing, is like putting on for your people. That's all a big thing for me, and I think like a lot of people from Long Island are like that too.
I have found that to be the attitude when I talk to anyone from Long Island. Like I'm trying to think of everybody I've talked to that's from there. I know it's more than 4 people.
I mean, I know you did the Lumpy episode. That one's really good.
Lumpy, fucking Harold.
Love Harold.
Gage is not from Long Island.
No, but he's got
the attitude.
Yeah, it's like a Northeast thing a lot of the time, because he's from like Maryland, Pennsylvania area.
But he did a lot of traveling around to shows and shit like that.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I guess Seb, but Seb is like, he's from Long Island.
Which Seb?
Regulate.
Yeah, yeah, he's from East Meadow.
Yep.
So
So a lot of people from Long Island.
yeah, no, Long Island's worldwide, dude. It's and it's one of those things where like even like me, where like I moved away, and like I know a lot of people who moved away, and but like a lot of that, Long Island's like a place where it's like it's kind of unique. Like I don't know, like it's obviously just like like a giant suburb outside
Yeah.
of like the city. Um, but there's like a lot of weird random things or that are unique to like growing up on Long Island. That I thought were totally normal and like just everywhere until I moved out of Long Island.
Like what? Like drop like one or two.
Um, well, part of it's like the money thing, like how expensive it is to live there, and like there's like a big focus on like family. Like I know a lot of people who are like my age, and like even like when I was younger, like older people I knew would be like in their mid to late 20s and like still live at home. And part of it's probably because they can't fucking afford to live anywhere else. But like I think because there's like a lot of like Italian people and like Irish people, like that's like a lot of Long Island. And I think like a lot like, it's I think where I think like family's like super central, like everyone kind of like stays together type thing. Like most of my family still lives on Long Island. Like my brother still lives up there, and I have like aunts and uncles and stuff who still live up there. I think that's like a thing because when I moved to Savannah, dude, it was like a lot of people I know were like, oh yeah, like 18, 19, like I was living on my own. I'm like, well, your parents don't like you or something?
Well, no, it's because like everybody's from Hinesville. Who wants to fucking live in Hinesville?
Fuck Hinesville.
Hinesville's
Fuck
the worst.
Hinesville. Fuck Statesboro. Fuck Jessup.
Die. Fuck all those outlying counties. My family's from Effingham County, which is like Guyton.
Yeah.
And thank God I didn't fucking grow up out there.
Where's that? Is Rincon in Effingham?
Rincon's in Effingham County. Yeah, that's like the city in Effingham County.
That's crazy. That's crazy that you would call Rincon a city. That's the crazy shit is like living it like if you grew up in like Hinesville, I guess, which like most of the people from like my friend group in Savannah did, like either Statesboro or Hinesville or something like that. It's like the city is like Savannah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then or like because like Atlanta's still like 4 hours away.
Jacksonville's like, closer.
Yeah. Which and like shout out Jacksonville. I like Jacksonville a lot.
Yeah, I fuck with Jacksonville.
So I mean that's like when living in Savannah, like I was going to more shows in Jacksonville than in Savannah. And like shout out to like Tim Walls because he's like one of the like only people who's been like regularly booking like shows in our world in Savannah for however many fucking years. But like there was a while where it was like I don't know any other band from Savannah besides like Vatican that's like touring and like doing shit.
Same. I cannot right now. I can't even tell you a band that's touring from Savannah.
Yeah, and there's like new, but there's like it's crazy seeing like younger kids now. Like and like obviously it's gonna happen because of like SCAD's right there and stuff. So it's like there's always gonna be like the influx of new kids coming in and like starting bands and like going to shows or like having shows at whatever like shitty house they're living in, which is awesome, and that's how it should be. It was. I feel like after some point it kind of became like the thing where it's like oh that like because everyone goes there for 4 years for school, but no like how many people really stay, like
right.
So it's like oh like is like for there's a couple of times where I was like oh is Vatican like the OG band like the old head band now for these kids, and I'm like which is like is cool for me, but it's like everyone I ever talked to from Savannah who like was in like a similar like mindset or like sensibilities as me, it was like yeah there's not really like old heads to like guide like the scene or anything like that. And I'm not saying that we did that, like I'm not trying to like puff us up, but it was like a band like from Savannah or mostly from Savannah that was like trying to like tour and like do shit and play outside of it. And that like there was a lot of like other like kids and like other bands and stuff who like just didn't fuck with us for whatever reason. I'll put that more on them than us because everyone in Vatican is awesome.
That might have been after, because I moved in 2016 to Charleston for like a year.
Okay. Charleston's sick. I love Charleston.
I hate it. Living there is horrible. Yeah. It's
Charleston,
racist.
I mean, yeah. But here's the thing. We're in the South, man. It's all slightly problematic at least.
Savannah's significantly less racist in the way that they haven't like fucking divided the city up and gerrymandered the fuck out of it.
Yeah. Charleston's definitely like one of those more like, I guess, like politically charged or like politically influenced cities. Horrible. Like that. So, but I've played cool shows in Charleston.
Corey's
and Charleston. What was that?
At Corey's Grilled Cheese?
Yeah, I'm a veteran. I played there.
That's old head energy right there.
Dude, I have so many friends in bands who they're like, yeah, like we played like the first time we played South Carolina, we played this like grilled cheese restaurant, and they're like, I'm like, Corey's. And they're like, how do you know that? I'm like, because I played there like 5 times.
Everybody knows Corey's.
I mean, dude, because it was one of those things like kind of like Jacksonville where I was playing more shows or going to more shows in Jacksonville. It was the same with like Charleston or like Columbia, you know, like playing like New Brooklyn Tavern, you know, which like shout out to Carlin, guy who runs shit there. Great front of house guy, great promoter. One of the few venues that Live Nation has not sucked up.
Yeah.
So awesome. But yeah, like there would be people would think we're from like North or South Carolina because of how often we would play there. And it was like, yeah, no, we're from like Savannah. And they're like, oh, like weird. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So, but Savannah's cool. I look back pretty fondly my time living there, and like I've been meaning to go back. I need to fucking go just like chill for like a few days. Because like every time I ever went to Savannah, it was like, all right, we're doing like band work or like getting ready for a tour or like something. It was always work, you know. So I want to go back for like a long weekend and just like fucking chill with my squad, you know.
I've been trying to convince my band because we're going to the States in March, which I don't know if you've talked to many Canadian bands, but it's extremely expensive.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
It's the visa thing.
Yeah.
Didn't know about that until I moved here and got fucked over so hard. But anyway, we're trying to go in March to like closer, like New England, Philly, like that area. But I'm trying to convince them for the fall, you know, when the weather's nice.
Yeah, when it actually cools down a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit when it's not fucking 95 every day.
95 with 90% humidity.
Exactly. I don't think that they even know what that feels like.
That's been here this week. It's been fucking insufferable.
So I'm trying to convince them we set a base in Savannah because I got family, and then we can just play like Charleston, Jacksonville, you know, do a little run.
Yeah.
But it's just because I miss Savannah, so I need a good excuse to go back.
I mean, it's smart though, because like Savannah is like pretty like central. Like you could play Jax and like Atlanta and Charleston and even like Gainesville or some shit, and like just go back every night, and it's not like a super long drive.
No, it's like 4 hour max.
Yeah, and like I've done that here, like with where I live, where like if there's a tour where like we have like 3 or 4 like Florida shows, like we'll come back to my house every night, and it's awesome. We wrote most of the first Vatican full length here at my house when we did 4 shows with Attila, funny enough. Back in like 2019, I think. It was one of those things where like our manager was like, hypothetically, would you do this if you got an offer? And we were like, sure.
The offer's gotta be this though.
well, it was just like a record release weekend for them, and like most of that band is like from Florida at this point, or like lives in Florida at this point. So it was like, oh, we'll do like Orlando, Tampa, South Florida, Jacksonville. So it's literally like every scene in Florida. So it's like, and like where I live, it's like most places, like it's about like 2.5 hours each way for like most cities for me that like I would go to for like shows and stuff. So it's like, like, all right, we'll just kind of like bunk down at my place. And then like before, like we'd wake up like a little early and just like set up on my computer here and like just write shit for a few hours and then like go do the show, come home, sleep, and then kind of do that. We did that. It was like 4 or 5 days of that. So, but that's like, I mean, anytime I could be like home for like a day or two on tour, I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
It's a good idea. We need more of that, right?
Yeah. Your band should do that with Savannah.
But my band is like, well, I guess now I don't really drink either, so we're like 3 out of 5 are basically straight edge.
Yeah.
2 are claim straight edge. I don't claim edge because I'm not a poser.
I'm straight edge.
No, not like I don't want to be a poser and claim straight edge. But
you're not.
So,
I mean, if you want to claim it, dude. It's your life.
I don't think I'm ready to commit. That's my thing. I got commitment issues.
I respect it.
Plus, if it's never mind. I won't get into it.
Savannah's a bar town, dude. It's fucked up.
That's my thing. Is I grew up around normalized drinking culture. So
yeah. It's like a lot of my time in Savannah was spent like working or not being in Savannah just because of like tours or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like a lot of times it'd be like, like I don't know. I'm weird about like going to bars even just to like hang out or whatever. Like if I go, like I'm getting like an hour in maybe, and then I'm like, I got YouTube at home.
That's the guitarist in my band is like that. He's like, I think he's like 35 or so, but he's been straight edge for 20 years.
Yeah.
Or, he's been straight edge for a long fucking time.
Yeah. I think seeing, so like I was 16 when like OG Four Loko first came out. Like, and so I remember going to like friends parties when I was like 16, 17 and seeing people I know get like just demolished by it and then throwing up whatever color the can they were drinking was, like green or orange or some crazy shit. And after that I was like, no, I'm good on that.
Yeah.
So it's been mostly pretty lifelong for me.
Right.
And so but I'm never like all my friends I know who have like stopped being straight edge or like picked up like smoking weed or like drinking or whatever, most of them are like much happier now than they were when they were straight edge, and that makes me happy. Because like I've had people have like long like deep talks with me about like how like they're not straight edge anymore, and I'm always like, dude, like, and like they tell me like people like stop being friends with them over it, and I'm like, yo, like you just gotta like, if they're gonna stop being friends with you over that, then like fuck them, like they shouldn't be in your life regardless type shit, But again, everyone in Vatican who was straight edge and then stopped being straight edge, they're all like happier now for it, and to me that's like the most important thing, because like the world is so fucked up and shitty that like if like you should do what you need to do to like have something for yourself or like have something that can like give you a reprieve from that.
Yeah.
And if that's what that is, then like that's dope.
Just thrive, baby. Just thrive.
That's all I want, dude. I want all my people in my life to succeed and win. So, because as Josta would say, high tide raises all ships. And if one of my friends wins, that the blessings will trickle down and trickle out,
Dude, as they say in church, when the praises go up, blessings come down.
Let the blessings begin,
Well, let me know what Dying Wishes got going on. I know that y'all just released that Watch My Promise Die EP or single, 2-song
single.
deal.
We actually, by the time this comes out, we'll have another single out called "Lost in the Fall." That's one of my favorite songs on the new record. New record, "Symptoms of Survival," comes out November 3rd, I think. Ooh. We're doing a full US at the end of the year. Couple different legs with like a couple different bands. One of them is Dying Wish, Omerta, Gates to Hell, and Excide. Shout out Gage Wanza.
And Omerta. Shout out Gus.
I love Omerta, dude. They're fucking freaks, man. I love
that band.
Dude, we did Vatican did some shows with them at the end of 2021, and they are. I mean, I saw them like in like the older iteration of Omerta in like 2016, 2017, and they were like
crossover ones.
Yeah. Where like they just sounded like a Texas band. And then like I remember like 2018, 2019, Gus like showed me one or two songs like off of like the newer like shit, like the hyper violent shit, and I was like, this is cracked. Like this is
fucked up.
I love that band. That's a band I'm loving seeing getting like the love that they do, and like the like how many people like fuck with them. That's an awesome thing to me. So that's one lineup, and then in the middle of that, we're doing like the Lamb of God, like Headbangers Boat Cruise,
yeah,
which is crazy and awesome. It's like Lamb of God, Hatebreed, Machine Head, Fit for an Autopsy. We're in there somewhere. There's like a bunch of bands on it. It's like 4 days from like Miami down to like I think like Nassau and then back. And then as soon as we get back, we do another like 3 or 4 weeks where it's Dying Wish, Boundaries, Foreign Hands, and Roman Candle, which is a like to me is like a stacked fucking lineup.
Foreign Hands. The first time I saw Foreign Hands was with that Omerta and Sea Space Cowboy tour.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those bands have like really kept my attention since like hearing and seeing them.
Yeah.
So I love like Foreign Hands is on fucking Sharp Tone now, which is dope.
Yeah. Fucking Omerta. I mean, we have a similar team as them. Like we're both on Sharp Tone, and
yeah,
you know, but they're awesome. Fucking everyone in that band is sick, and like I think I've played with everyone in that band with other bands at some point. I mean, me and Tyler like toured together. Like he's in Brisk Meat Razor too, and like Vatican and Space Cowboy did like that full US with them. So like I was hanging out with Tyler like all the time. Fucking just like just a sweet innocent boy.
Yes.
Who is one of the most talented people I know between all his bands and like his art stuff. But yeah, so I'm stoked for that. I haven't done like a US tour since last summer, like summer 2022. Because everything I've done with Dying Wish this year has kind of been like they grinded like crazy. They did like 6 US tours or something crazy like that last year. And then went to Europe for the first time and did like Furnace Fest and stuff like that. And then so this year they were like a little more like, oh, like we're doing the record. So like my first show with them was like LDB this year.
Oh,
which I was like, oh, like I've played LDB before and like had so many friends playing, but I was like, oh, this is like this year in particular was like crazy. Like,
yeah,
like the team like smashed it out of the park this year with like the lineup and the venue and the attendance. So it was like I got on stage and I was setting up and I was like, there's mad motherfuckers in here.
There's a lot of people.
So that was sick.
Sound and Fury.
Yeah, we just did Sound and Fury. That was crazy. I had some gear issues, which I'm kind of bummed about, but like the amp that I was using, fried like first song.
Nice.
So luckily I had the, I've been like whenever I play, I just take whatever DI line I get and just plug it into my dark glass pedal. So, which because it sounds better than whatever DI on whatever head you're gonna put in front of me.
100%.
And then if the amp dies, like as long as I'm still piping out sound, like piping out bass to like the mains, so like the crowd hears me. I'm usually able, like, I can fly blind if I need to, you know. So not that I like to, but it's just like I can hold it down. So that happened at Sound and Fury, which sucked, but like you just rocked with it, you know, and like the crowd was insane. I was like, I didn't know what to expect, and that was just like we had like 2 pits at one point. It was like some Ozfest type shit. I had good coffee at Sound and Fury too. Heavy Water from I think they're from LA. They had like a tent. They had a tent set up. We're bringing it back to coffee. I'm trying to bring it back to coffee.
No, you're good. Because I didn't know they were going to have a coffee vendor, because I had spoken with Martine earlier this year, and he was kind of lining some shit up. So that's cool.
Yeah, they had like a couple like food tents, and they had like the coffee tent. Yeah, it was Heavy Water they had, and like their thing was just like, it was like either cold brew or cold brew with oat milk.
Yep.
And I'm like, it's like just like that's all you need, really. Their cold brew was awesome. It definitely was, because they sold out like halfway through the second day.
Nice.
Like I went back later after I played, and I was like, can I get another cup? And they're like, we're sold out. So it was dope shit. Sound Fury was sick. We did Milwaukee Metal Fest, which was like
the Decibel Fest.
What was that?
Wasn't it Decibel that the Milwaukee one?
No, it was they might have had part of it, like, but it's like the fest that like it used to be a fest in the 90s, and then like recently Jasta like got ownership of like the fest and like brought it back this year. And that was awesome. That's like kind of similar lineup to the cruise thing we're doing this year. Like we played the same day as like Lamb of God. And like we played on like the big stage, which was like pretty like intimidating for me at least, but it was sick. That was cool. And it's like, that's like a fest that like I feel like the band doesn't, or it's like a crowd that like the band normally wouldn't play for, because it's like very like metal type shit. But it was awesome. And there's like a handful of like my friends' bands, like Gates to Hell, Fuming Mouth, Body Snatcher. And there was like a crop of kids at the fest who are all in like hardcore band shirts, like Incendiary shirts or like something like that. And like every one of my friends' bands, like I saw like those same kids like in the pit for them and shit like that. So I'm like, okay, like, and like they were in the pit for like us too. So I was like, okay, like we got a couple of corpsmen here, which is pretty sick. So, but yeah, dude, it was like I did fucking LDB, and then like a month later, I went to Europe with them. So it was sick. We did we opened for like Counterparts and like Kublai Khan.
Yeah.
And that was awesome. I didn't, because like I went to Europe in late 2022. That was like the last Vatican tour. And then I was like, all right, like maybe I'll go like in like a year or two again or something if something happens. And then they were just like, can you come to Europe with us? And I was like, yeah, fuck it. Like, let's do it. Let's roll.
Yes, boss.
Fucking. And Europe was awesome. Had a lot of good coffee. Or had a lot of Americanos in Europe.
We don't have to go into that. That's just
how Europe doesn't do like iced coffee
or drip coffee.
Or yeah. It's dude. I've told a couple people this story. I got roasted. Have you ever had Costa over there?
Unfortunately.
Oh, it's all right. I fuck with it. I mean, it's like the same shit as like Starbucks, you know?
Yeah. It's
so like they obviously don't, like most places don't do like cold brew or like iced coffee. Like anytime I was like, can I get like, they would like just brew it hot and then immediately throw ice in it, and then it would just melt and water down.
That's not iced coffee. Oh my God.
Yeah. which I'm like, whatever, like I'll fucking rock with it, you know? But I remember the first time I was over there with Vatican, we were at like some service stop, and they had a Costa, so I was getting like, I got like an oat milk latte or something like that, something basic. And the whole time, like the whole tour, I had been trying to get iced coffee, and my driver, who is this British guy named Hamish, who I love him, he he kind of just noticed my ordering habits every time. And when we were at Costa in the UK, I ordered that, and because that's like the only place you could get like a nice latte or something like that. And he asked the barista, he was like, "Oh, like, do a lot of people like order like iced coffee with you guys or something like that?" And the barista was like, "Yeah, but it's a lot of like teenage girls getting that." And I was just like, I'm 30 years old and I'm bald and
He's
I'm
out here
drinking
trying.
it, so I'm here.
He was that was intentional. That was
He got my ass.
that was a friendly fire.
Yeah, it's fine. I spent the whole tour talking in like a Peaky Blinders accent, so, and he was a good sport about it. So I was like, yeah, I'm all right. Like, I'll let you have this one.
Yeah, they don't like that.
Some of them do, because I told him, I was like, yo, like if you want me to stop, I'll stop. But dude, I couldn't stop. It was like the whole time I was like, Tommy, it's Arthur.
Get the guns. Get the guns, Tommy.
Like, Tommy, Billy Kimber's coming to the garrison.
No fucking fighting.
I couldn't stop doing it, dude. It was so bad. It was worse. It was worse this last time. Like, and like I told Hamish, I was like, yo, if you want me to stop, I'll stop. And he was like, no, I think it's funny.
Okay.
And then it was confirmed to me because a couple months ago he texted me out of the blue and he was like, can you send me a voice memo of your Peaky Blinders accent? I need to show my mates. So I did, and he was like, thank you.
Certified good. That's
so he was like, I love your British accent. I was like, is it good? He said, no, it's dog shit. But that's why it's funny. That's why it's good. And I was like, all right, I'll take that. I'll take being bad for the sake of being funny, you know.
That's it. It's good because it's bad.
I love bad shit. That's good.
Yeah, isn't that what caricature is?
Yeah.
It's just bad being good.
Yeah. I'm all about a bit and like committing to a bit, you know. You know, that was always the thing in Vatican was like, is this funny? Like, does this make me laugh? Okay, it's probably gonna roll. It's probably gonna be good, you know?
Yeah.
Like there would be just some shit where like, especially on Ultra, on like the last record where we were like, yeah, we're gonna fucking do this like crazy shit or like detune the guitar mid song and fucking like just because it sounds like shit and it's awesome. like that was like a big crux for like how like we would like write music and shit.
Yeah. That sounds knowing the people in that band, that sounds like the bit.
Yeah. I mean because you gotta have fun.
Yeah.
It's gotta be fun. You gotta enjoy it. Especially like and like doing it to like the caliber that like we do or try to do, where it's like a lot of times like touring and like playing music feels like work, you know, or it is work, you know. So it's like you got to find the things that like, you know, keep it fun, you know. I know so many people who are like jaded and burnt out, but like they spent their whole lives touring, they don't know how to fucking do anything else. And it's like I never want to be like that. I want to like just love music and love playing music for like my entire life. Part of that is like going on tour and finding like the cute coffee places. Cause like I'll like, dude, I'm drinking gas station coffee a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I make do, you know.
I've had to bring instant.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's just whatever, dude. Dude, at work I drink like Keurig coffee.
It do the thing.
It's utilitarian, you know. I mean, you can't find the cute third wave coffee shop with the barista with the blue hair in every city, you know. Sometimes Starbucks is just fine.
And that's why you cherish those moments when you're in Philly or Chicago or Long Island or Brooklyn, and you can go to Say and you can get a beautiful coffee. So it makes it more worth it.
Exactly. Those are the places where I'm like, all right, like I want to like, especially if it's like a like walkable, like, you know, like Brooklyn or something like that. Long Island is the one place where I'm like, I'll go out of my way to like find like like go to like the coffee place I like, whether it's like
South
Druthers or Southdown or Flux is cool. A lot of people are kind of like, I'm not gonna say a lot of people, but some people are kind of like whatever about Flux. But it's like pretty central on Long Island. It's also like 10 minutes from AMH, which is like the main which is always like the main venue on Long Island. So I'm like, I have like a lot of times where like I would play Long Island, and before the show, we'd fucking like meet up with like all of our friends at fucking Flux or something like that, and just like mob up there and just fucking like destroy the vibe in the shop for everyone else.
Is that's the shop that did the Koyo drink?
No, I think Druthers did it, because
Okay.
Druthers is in Stony Brook, where Koyo's mostly from.
Okay.
And funny enough, where I went to college after community college, I went to SUNY Stony Brook. So and I've gotten to go to Druthers like 2 or 3 times now, just like my time being there. So I love that. That's probably like my favorite Long Island place, that or Southdown, which I know is kind of like in line with like what every other like Long Island person will say.
That's what I don't. Do you know Rich Castillo?
Yeah.
He that's his spot too.
Yeah, I mean it's dope. It's just good. It's just good shit, you know.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah, but yeah, coffee's awesome. I mean, dude, I'd be going into work at like 7 a.m. Dude, sometimes I just go to Circle K and get like the giant like 32-ounce Polar Pop, and I just fill it with like just black coffee from the machine, and I'm just like,
what the you
dude,
animal?
It's just what I get making do, you know.
Do you do it on ice though, or is it just
Yeah,
straight?
yeah.
Okay.
No, so like I've noticed it in a lot of like the truck stops, like Flying J's and Pilots, and like a lot of Circle K's have them where there's like the coffee machine, and there is an option for like iced coffee now, which is just like, so it's like it's bullshit, but it's like at least it's like iced bullshit, so it's not like I'm not filling it up with like the chewy ice and then pouring coffee, and it's just immediately melting and like watering down. So, you know, I'm one of those guys who's like, if that's what I got, that's what I'm working with, and I'll make do.
Put the people onto the Wawa though. The Wawa's got the coffees.
Wawa has held me down and many times in my life, and I don't have like a stake in like the Wawa Sheets thing. I love both, but like, here's the thing: I've never had Sheets coffee. I've had Wawa coffee.
Had a lot of Wawa coffee,
and it's doing the fucking job, you know.
Oh yeah,
so,
the iced coffee options are good.
Crazy. So like just overachieving.
You're reaching, but it's working.
Yeah, just shooting threes constantly.
Dink.
I love it.
Well, this has been really fun. I appreciate you hanging out.
I appreciate you taking the time and having me. This is awesome.
I just want to know before we go.
Yeah.
What's your favorite city for beans and breakdowns?
Like the same or either or?
If you can make it the same.
For beans and breakdowns. This is gonna sound go-to and boring, but I'm gonna say Long Island.
Every Long Island person's like Long Island.
I mean, it's just, dude, like growing up and going to shows there. That's like another like unique thing about living there is like I feel like the scene on Long Island is like always been so unique to a lot of other places. Like, and I feel like it's kind of become more widespread now with like the internet and like a lot of like how like new kids are getting into like hardcore and stuff now. But like for a while, like Long Island was the place where like the same kid who likes to like bulldoze and Madball is the same kid singing along to like Crime and Stereo and like the movie Life. You know, I feel like that, and like I feel like that's just something that's always like informed my opinion is like of how like cool and like how like widespread like music could be. So I'm gonna say Long Island because like all my favorite shows I've ever played, I think have been on Long Island. And a lot of that's like the fellowship, like the friendship, like having like my squad there. So I'll say, yeah, I'm just gonna say Long Island. That's what it is.
Listen, just because y'all have Taking Back Sunday and Backtrack does not mean that Long Island is the best scene in the world.
I mean, it's up there.
It's definitely up there.
So, do you have somewhere that you would say otherwise?
No, I've never even been to Long Island though.
Yeah, that's fine. It's cool.
It's coming up.
You get good pizza. You get good coffee. You get good
the
Chinese
cold cheese.
food.
The cold cheese pizza, is that?
Yeah. That's Little Vincent's. It's a gimmick slice, but it's good. I mean, I've spent many nights in like Huntington Village or in Ronkonkoma because there's two of them that do it. And then there's other places where if you ask them to do it, they get like mad about it.
What does this look like? A tourist stop to you?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely like a gimmick slice, but like it's fine. Like I was saying it because we were just on Dying Wish was just on Long Island doing like music videos and stuff. Because our video guy is also from Long Island. Again, another full circle like team thing, and like we went to like the pizza place next to the studio that we were doing stuff at, and like someone was like, "Oh, like how's this slice?" And I was like, "It's fine," but then I was like, a fine Long Island slice is better than like 95% of like another state's like best slice,
It's true.
So
those Savannah slices be hard.
Yeah. Stoners, bro.
Did you ever live through the Sweet Melissa's days?
No, that was before my time living there. Like
I thought that they had closed up.
Well, it's another place now. Like it's still a pizza place. I think one time Whittle took me to Sweet Melissa's literally like just to get like a slice. And I was like, this is Pizza Hut.
Chicken bacon ranch.
Is that the slice there?
It was a custom one, but if you played a show and you got a pizza, you could order it and they would make it for you.
That's sick. That was like Spinelli's in Louisville. It's fucking like you get a pie. I almost every time I played Spinelli's was when I was vegan, so I would get like the vegan pie too. So that was always like a cool thing.
Vinny's was always certified.
Vinny Van Gogh's?
Yeah.
Vinny's is pretty good. Someone gave me a slice from Huckapoo's, which is I think out going towards Tybee.
Yeah, it's Tybee.
Yeah, that shit went hard. I'm trying to think what else is there. There's like Sweet Melissa's. Someone when I first started going to Savannah, someone talked up Stoners like so hard to me.
It's horrible.
Like, it's dog shit. It's horse shit.
It's the worst pizza.
So, but like, oh, like they're open till like 2 a.m. Like, okay, sure. It's like fucking whatever. Who cares? Like, I'm just
they're open till 2 a.m., but I'm not up. Like, I don't know what you.
Yeah. Again, because it's like bar town. Like, you're gonna fucking stumble in fucked up and get like a shitty slice.
Yeah.
But no, I fucking yeah. No, it's fuck that shit. Shout out Vinny's. Shout out Huckapoo's. There's a really good pizza place near me, actually, where I used to work in Titusville called Mama Rosa's, which is it's literally just a family of fat Italians from like Canarsie.
Nice.
And like their pie is like the closest thing that I can get to like pizza from like back home, and it's awesome.
Next time you come to Montreal, I'll take you to Pizza Tony.
Yeah.
It's like the closest thing to like a New York that we have here.
Yeah, that's sick. I've only been to Montreal twice. I went on my first tour with my friend's band that I was faking sound for. We did, I think it was Bar Loritz.
Yeah.
I did that. And then Vatican played there once in 2019. I forget the name of the place.
Bar Loritz.
No, it was a different spot.
The Vatican show I went to was at Bar Loritz.
Okay, then that was Bar Loritz, and the place I went to with the other band was somewhere else.
What was the band?
It's band Cryptodira. from Long Island. It's like prog, like post metal type stuff.
I'm trying to think of, it might have been Piranha Bar. Piranha Bar does a lot of like metal shows like that.
It was funny enough. It was Tradewind and Cryptodira.
That's a weird ass show.
It was, but it was cool. And that's where I met fucking Tom, and that's where I met Randy LaBeouf, because they played in that band, and now those guys are like my squadron. Literally, as I was like driving back from River Road, I was looking at my phone because I'd be texting and driving sometimes, allegedly.
Florida fashion.
Yeah, just the vibes. Randy posted 2 coffees on his story, and I literally just sent him a picture of my 2 coffees, and I was like, kismet, sweet serendipity.
FYTC, fuck you 2 coffees.
Fuck you 2 coffees.
Mackey, thanks so much for hanging out. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me.
I'm a little bit bitter. Dying Wish is not coming to Montreal on that run, but I'm sure it will only be a matter of time.
Where we have some stuff lined up for next year that's like same kind of like widespread stuff. I'm sure we'll end up coming back. I want to come back because Montreal is a beautiful city.
It's the greatest city in Canada, maybe North America as a whole.
Listen, you're putting it up on that pedestal, and you living in some of the same places that I've lived. I can, and like your time like touring and traveling and stuff like that. I hold that opinion in high regard. So
I don't clown on Savannah. I'm not one of those. I think Savannah is a nice city. So
yeah.
So, you know the bar. Anyway.
What, Wormhole?
Yes. And you fuck yes. Fuck.
Wormhole, die.
It's the greatest, and I can't go on this tangent. Anyway, that's for another day.
Another day.
Enjoy the rest of your
part
Saturday.
Part 2 when I come back.
That's it. We're gonna do it anyway. Yeah, part 2.
Part 2. Fuck Wormhole.
Enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
You as well, bud.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Beans and Breakdowns. I want to say a huge thanks to Mackey for hanging out on this episode. Super great getting to catch up with him. Be sure to check out Symptoms of Survival, the upcoming album from Dying Wish. It's out November 3rd. You can listen to the singles that are out now on all listening platforms. If you've enjoyed the podcast, please subscribe and leave a review. You can find out more information about the podcast by following us on Instagram at Beans and Breakdowns or on the web at beansandbreakdowns.com. Until next week, be sure to stay caffeinated and wake the fuck up.